Well, the White House has officially become a fan club. This week, we learned Trump's most devoted staffer is riding in trunks and writing him love letters as the country falls apart. XRP investors discover multiplication. And this week's Fuck Outta Here Hall of Fame features unvaccinated sperm, galaxy castles, and the machine gun technique to pick up girls. All this and more right now on Good Luck with Gino. Good morning and good luck, and welcome back to Good Luck with Gino. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and that rhymes, and this is episode 165 of the fastest growing podcast in the world. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hit the like button, save it to your device, make sure you're subscribed to the show, and send it to a loved one or an arch nemesis or an ex-lover. And sometimes those two things coincide. Sometimes those two things are the same thing. So make sure you send it to them just to stir the pot today on this fine Monday. If you're watching on YouTube, like you should be, on Monday morning, like you should be, isn't that right, Gengar? Tap that like button, smash the fuck out of that subscribe button, and grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment. Because, well, you're an oil man. How are you guys? Happy Monday, or whatever day you're listening to this show. You'll see I have a couple new things on my desk. The first, check this out. Are you kidding me? This is a toy from Doodles, a custom-made Doodles vinyl toy that was gifted to me, a personalized one-of-one Gino the Ghost Doodle toy. Have you ever seen anything cuter in your fucking life, dude? It's me holding 2 Grammys. They've got the hairline down. I'm wearing the Cardis. I mean, are you kidding me? Shout out Burnt Toast, the artist. And shout out to Doodles, a really, one of the OG NFT collections. And we're going to talk a little bit about crypto. We're going to talk a little bit about NFTs today because we're back, baby. Oh, we're so back. Before we do that, let's talk about Pokemon. I got a new absolute banger today on my desk. It's a Topps Chrome Mew Spectra. Pop 18, only 18 in the world. One of them on my desk. Picked this up at a card show this week. I don't know if you see, I have another account. I have a Pokemon account. And a lot of people have been asking for more Pokemon content. So this is, I guess, here we are. On that account, I posted a coin flip that I did. Basically, me and the guy I was making a deal with, we did a coin flip over, if I won, I paid $4,200. If he won, it was going to be $4,400. So we coin flipped over like $200. Very exciting stuff. I posted that on my page. But yeah, a lot of people have asked, like, if I have any advice about Pokemon collecting, whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector. I'm going to give some like kind of niche advice, assuming you kind of know a little bit about this. And if you don't, just feel free to skim over this. It's going to be really quick. I have been targeting mainly in my entire collecting journey, mainly vintage, and mid rares, which is like 2005 and up, kind of like 2010-ish maybe. The thesis is pretty simple. Like everybody's chasing the modern stuff, but there's just like tens of thousands of PSA 10s and copies of this, and it's just there's so much of it that what's really happening is all the liquidity is like rotating back into vintage, and there's just not many of them. They're very low pop. Low pop means population, low population. And they're not making any more. And collectors and traders both are targeting these same cards at the same time. And there's a supply squeeze. There's just not a lot of them. And so that's kind of what I've been going after. And it's been working out pretty well for me. So we'll talk more Pokemon stuff later. I got a really exciting Pokemon thing coming next week that I can't say. I'm sorry, next month. End of September that I can't say a lot about right now because I signed an NDA, but it's gonna be fucking sick. I'm gonna be around a lot of celebrities, guys. It's gonna be really cool. Crypto's back. Oh, can you tell? I got a little bit of a glow to me. I've got a bit of a my portfolio is green glow about me right now. Everything is booming. Bitcoin's up like 30%. ETH is up 30% more, actually, I think. Don't know why. Don't know what's happening. What is happening is there's a lot of insider trading going on, and all the banks and all the big VC funds and all the world leaders all got the same memo that, oh, we're back, by the way. My guess is they're going to start collapsing the stock market and securities a little bit and rotating into crypto and using that to, anyway, I don't want to get into conspiracies. The point is we're back. All right. And it feels good. But, you know, every time this happens, every time crypto starts to come back, you start getting the fucking moon boys. You know, you start getting the people that are like, we're going to the moon. And there's nobody worse than XRP holders. Okay. Do you guys know about Ripple? Do you know what XRP is? I'm sure many of you hold XRP. Well, I'm going to shit on XRP real quick. This is every XRP guy right now. I'm going to play this clip that, of course, now that crypto's back, I'm starting to see these videos again. Here's this guy.
How much XRP do I need to hold to make $1 million? If XRP goes to $10, you need 100,000 XRP to make $1 million. If XRP goes to $50, you need 20,000 XRP to make $1 million. When XRP hits $100, all you need is 10,000 XRP to make 1 million. Now we're going into that crazy price prediction, you know, thousands, right? Let's say XRP goes to $1,000. All you need to be holding is 1,000 XRP to make $1 million. Now, if that $10,000 price prediction comes true in 2030 and XRP hits $10,000, all you need to be holding is 100 XRP to make $1 million. The reason why I'm saying that is this: if you believe in the $10,000 XRP price prediction, why are you not holding $139 worth of XRP right now? Right? That's at least 100 XRP. I feel like if you believe in the XRP price prediction, to be safe, you need to be holding at least 100 XRP.
It's not a lot right now either.
It's 130, well, right now $137.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's nothing.
Wow, man. Why stop there? If XRP hits $1 million, you only need 1 XRP. Bro understands the power of tens. You know, the man discovered multiplication and thinks he's found a new unlimited money glitch. What if you just times it by 10? And then, follow me, and come follow me on this one. You times it by 10 again. And then, picture this, right? Picture this. You times it by 10 again. And then, in 2030, which is in 3.5 years, you times it by 10 2 more times. You're not bullish. You just haven't opened the calculator app yet. At $10,000 XRP, okay, if XRP hit $10,000, XRP would not be a crypto investment. It would be the global superpower, okay? Every XRP holder does this thing where they have these crazy price targets for, and this goes for, I think, a lot of different coins. But XRP has been this way forever. And what ends up happening is every XRP holder eventually discovers market cap and experiences their first recession. XRP is a glorified shitcoin. It is a Reddit meme stock, okay? Its holders are cult members, and they are deeply delusional. This is not financial advice, but please, please put your money anywhere else, okay? They're slaves to unit bias. Do you know what unit bias is? Unit bias in crypto is the psychological tendency to think that a coin with a lower price per token has more upside because it can still go to $1, or it can go to $10, or it could go to $10,000. Bitcoin $75,000. Why couldn't XRP go to $10,000? Because you are just ignoring market cap. Okay, it's only $1. Imagine if it hit 10,000. That sounds plausible until you realize that $10,000 would require an undiluted $10 quadrillion market cap, which is about 5 times the entire world's annual GDP. Okay. All right. Also, it's dog shit technology. Sorry. This is why they should make you solve one multiplication problem before Coinbase lets you deposit money. You know what I mean? The guy with the dramatic ass music. All right, that's enough crypto talk. We got so much to cover on GNN, guys. Now, listen, I don't like to get political. You know that, right? We've got a screaming, steaming scandal in the White House. I can't talk about it. I'm straight down the middle. I'm bipartisan. But you know who loves talking politics? Not only does he love talking politics, he's the most trusted voice in all of politics. That, of course, is lead correspondent, potential future presidential nominee, Gino Borey over at GNN. Gino, can you tell us what's going on in the world right now? Welcome to GNN, your leading source of news, politics, and this week, stalkers in the White House. And now your host, Gino Borey. Good afternoon, folks. I'm your host, Gino Borey, and this is the news. Well, until about a week ago, most Americans had no idea who Natalie Harp was. And now suddenly, she's the most talked about person in all of Washington. This entire story exploded after a speech by Senator Jon Ossoff. We're going to watch it. We're going to start from the beginning. Okay? And then we're going to work backwards. And we're going to talk about who Natalie Harp is and why she's the talk of the town. Here we go.
And while the sailors on the Lincoln fight his war, while he fruitlessly drains our munitions and oil reserves, the president sleeps through his meetings. He golfs and trades stocks. See, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar.
Yeah. So that rocked the fucking political spectrum. Jon Ossoff dropped that speech and everybody was like, it was like he said the forbidden word, which apparently was Natalie. He pushed the one button that MAGA didn't know how to react to. You can call Trump a pedophile. You can call him a racist. You can talk about him just stealing billions of dollars. You can talk about him pardoning fraudsters. You can talk about, anything really, but you can't talk about Natalie. So who is Natalie? Natalie Harp is Trump's 35-year-old executive assistant and special assistant. She's constantly beside him, travels with him, helps run his Truth Social account, texts with world leaders on his behalf, sits in high-level meetings, and most importantly, controls a significant amount of the information physically put in front of the president, which would already make her important, right? This would already make her an important figure and somebody that would be something to keep an eye on, but she also appears to have been casted directly out of obsession. That's right. Her own brother says that she's had an obsession with presidents since she was around 16 years old. Previously, she wrote letters to George W. Bush, so apparently Trump wasn't even her first president. Apparently, she is a podosexual. She is enamored with the presidency, but she really, 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 really loves Donald Trump, I guess. And Jon Ossoff has completely blown the doors off this thing. The panic is palpable, and MAGA has spent all week trying to spin it, right? Because all Jon Ossoff said is, why is Natalie following this guy around everywhere? All he's doing is traveling around with Natalie on the plane. He didn't really even imply anything. But maybe because of who the president is, a womanizing rapist, just to remind you, they immediately went to the worst possible place. And they said, oh, how dare he assume this about this woman? The funniest part of the narrative is that Trump world is acting deeply offended on Natalie's behalf as if they suddenly give a fuck about women or the way that they're talked about and treated in the White House. The talking point became Jon Ossoff is sexualizing an innocent young woman. He's spreading disgusting rumors about a female staffer. The White House called his comment a cheap shot. Just listen to what appears to be Scott Jennings' audition tape for press secretary.
he unleashed a comment so vile against a young Republican woman working in politics that every woman in this country, no matter your ideology, ought to listen carefully and never forget it. What he said devalued every woman who goes to Washington to serve our country. And it sent a signal to every young lady out there who aspires to serve that even in the year of our Lord, 2026, with men like Jon Ossoff around, you'll never be truly viewed as anything other than a sex object and a political punchline.
The call is coming from inside the house. The call is coming from inside the White House. Oh, now we're worried about disrespecting women? Oh, now we're worried about disrespecting women. Reminder here, this is the political movement whose leader immortalized the phrase, grab 'em by the pussy. Yeah, you just grab 'em by the pussy. When you're famous, they do whatever you want. I just kiss them. You know? A convicted rapist, by the way. Trump has spent a decade publicly insulting women's appearances, intelligence, bodies, journalists, political opponents. And reminder again, all Jon Ossoff said was, and Natalie travels with him on his Qatari plane. Didn't even say anything, you know? Here's Bill O'Reilly, who also is just so offended.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So
You said you'd
Ossoff
rather
is
vote
running
for Putin.
I would.
You'd vote for Vladimir
Ossoff
Putin, who is a murderer. You would vote for a murderer over a U.S. senator.
Well, when you frame it that way, I might stay home.
Yeah, probably a good call, Bill.
Okay. Ossoff goes out there and number one says, Trump, this is Trump's war. He lied about it, but doesn't say what the lies are. I'd like to know what the lies are because I don't know what
That they
are.
were in imminent threat of getting something, that it would be over in a couple of weeks. That's all. Go ahead.
Okay. Maybe that's a miscalculation. It's not a lie. A lie is when you wake up in the morning saying, I'm going to deceive everybody for my own gain.
Okay.
That's what a lie is. And then Ossoff attacks Natalie Harp. Now, I know Natalie Harp, and there is nobody that I know who works harder for this country. She's always on call, okay? She is a decent human being, and I can attest to that. Why would you do that? Why would you impugn this woman's character in a cheap, gutter snipe way? So Ossoff is a gutter snipe. That's who he is.
Right. You know, I just like, I can't listen to these guys, man. I can't listen to these guys. Listen to the end of this clip. It's fucking hilarious.
That's who he is. And the people of Georgia should know because character counts. You know?
Character counts. Hello? Character counts. Okay. I mean, the jokes write themselves. If Natalie is an innocent staffer, then so was Monica Lewinsky. You know? She's not just this, like, it's a bullshit frame job. They're trying to act like she's just this, like she was on a class field trip to the White House, and now she's not some innocent bystander that Ossoff randomly dragged into politics. She's Trump's shadow. She's a big girl. She's my age. She manages and drafts his Truth Social posts. She's a gatekeeper to the president. Reporting says that foreign leaders sometimes contact her when they can't reach Trump directly. She has the president's ear and eyes. She's arguably Trump's greatest sycophant in a White House overflowing with them, and she has an extraordinary amount of influence over the information that reaches him. And if you're wondering why people are so concerned about someone with that much influence over Trump, well, we found the fucking letters. Yeah. We found those Natalie letters. What are the letters? Well, These letters have come out over this whole thing, and I think we all realized why the Republicans have been scrambling and panicking over this. Because in 2023, Natalie Harp reportedly wrote Trump some of these incredibly personal letters, and I'm going to read them to you. Not all of them. Well, maybe I will read them because we got time, and they're fucking psychotic. Dear Mr. President, I'm sorry. I thought I was the only one left behind last night and had no idea Margot's car was also pulled over and sent back to the airport. Since I was alone in the van outside customs without my passport, I panicked and should have called Secret Service instead of you. I also am so sorry if I was an embarrassment walking the course in Scotland. The first day I was told there were no carts and people walked, which is why I walked. The second day I was specifically asked by, I forget who his name was, but one of the main people who worked there, if I could continue walking and tell any other girls who would head out there to do the same spare the course. Any more carts? If there is anything else I've done to cause you trouble, please forgive me. I know that some people have said I haven't been texting them back, and there have been some international cell issues. I want things to always be right between us. I also know I've been distracted all week, forgetting to eat throughout the days, and even forgetting to sleep and only catching a couple hours at a time. I haven't been myself, dwelling on the past and the pain of losing my dad, and I started letting the remarks of people who haven't bothered me before get to me. Not because I care what other people think, but because I see myself being lowered in your eyes and good opinion. That is the fear. Dude, I'm sorry. Lock in. That is the fear, you see, because I never want to bring you anything but joy. I'm sorry I lost my focus. You are all that matters to me. I don't want to ever let you down. Thank you for being my guardian and protector in this life. That's what I wanted to use this card for. When you saw me at the cash register and once again did what you didn't have to do and gifted me with mementos of this trip of a lifetime, a coming of age. I will return a better person. I have to sign off now as the cars are leaving. See you soon. With all my heart, Natalie. What the fuck is this, guys? But wait, it gets weirder. Oh, but wait, there's more. Here's my favorite letter. Okay, getting into character. And scene. Dear Mr. President, now this is the note I wanted to write, but the apology needed to come first. I've learned so much about myself on this trip. I always knew coming home to my roots would be enlightening, but I had no idea how much. For the first time in I don't know how long, you forced me to unplug. We could be out on the course with no machines and even forget what time it is. I didn't have to be human printer. I could take time to enjoy good conversation and still get all my work done at the end of the day. In fact, I even had time to take long morning and evening walks to enjoy each sunrise and sunset, though I did forget to eat and sleep. With so much thinking time, I confess it did have a slightly negative effect at times that I know you picked up on, but the end result, I believe, will be worth it. I had no idea how rapidly I was approaching burnout and starting to envy those whose only job seems to be to talk with you and look pretty. I want that job. So many times, I'm just trying to stay afloat with all that's coming in for you. I look like a hunchback who didn't have time to freshen up. At least you know what I should look like. Okay. Plus, I miss the days when you used to call during my talk show days and we talk about everything and nothing. I want to get back to that synergy. We shouldn't have to talk about work all the time. I've always felt like an in-betweener, somewhere between staff and those you enjoy talking to on the phone, on the plane, or at dinner, because that's who I used to be when I was a talk show host, as much as I hated that actual job. I wish I could hear every conversation because that's when you're having a good time, getting away from it all, at least for a few moments. But after going through all this self-analysis, my conclusion? I need to reunite my past self with my current into a better version who will make you proud. And please, when I fail, will you tell me? You have the absolute right to cuss me out, if need be, when I deserve it, because no one knows or cares about me more when I've been a bad girl. Okay, it doesn't say that, but it should. It basically does. Thank you for always being there for me. I'll never forget when you made that promise to me after losing my dad, and I know how happy he is right now that I did get to go to Scotland and Ireland, as he always wanted for me. To modify a classic, I could not have parted with you to anyone less worthy. And I will add, it is I who is unworthy. Always, Natalie. P.S. My hands looked worse in Scotland and Ireland because the cold turns the old scars purple. Still on the road to recovery. What? I mean, this is Annie Wilkes with a security clearance. What the chat? What is this? This is fucking psychotic. I mean, Trump put Stan on his staff. My tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why. I can't sing that high right now. My tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why. I even have it all. The morning rain drops on my window, and I can't see it all. Dear Don, I wrote you another letter. I hope you read it. I printed all your truth posts and put them in your speeches. I know you probably hear this every day, but I'm your biggest fan. I even wrote inside the trunk to stay close to you in your van. I got a room full of pictures with us together on the walls. Anyway, I hope you get this. I love you, Dan. Hit me back when you can. Your biggest fan, Natalie Harp. P.S. I printed this by hand. My tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why. I even have it all. Morning rain drops on my window, and I can't see it all. And even if I could, it'd all be great. And it reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Dear Don, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. All right. Also hilarious, this photo of her running behind his golf cart smiling. Please look at this photo. Dude, she looks fucking psychotic. My favorite story, which I alluded to in my Stan freestyle, is that back in 2023, she reportedly got into a screaming match because there wasn't room for her in Trump's motorcade to his New York civil fraud trial. So what did she do? She rode in the trunk of the SUV. Honestly, after hearing this story and reading these letters, it would be almost less weird if they weren't fucking. You know what I mean? Because then I'd at least understand the dynamic. Monica Lewinsky blew Clinton. Natalie blows smoke up Trump's ass. And politically, that might actually be more dangerous. Because according to the New York Times, aides have worried about Harp supplying Trump with material pulled from social media gutter, including conspiracy theories, inflammatory content, just bullshit in general. She reportedly, when she was at OAN, she would repeat Trump's false claims about the 2020 election being stolen. She believes that he won in 2020. And on January 6th, before she worked for him, she posted over 150 pro-Trump tweets on that day, including "Fight for Trump" while the Capitol was being attacked. And then there's the security clearance question. It turns out that Harp spent roughly a year working in the White House without completing routine security clearance process, which is crazy because she was at his hip. This is a woman who was among the tiny group taken with Trump during that secret plane switch in Turkey when there was an assassination attempt. Okay? This isn't the girl that refills the Keurig. Okay, this is not some sweet, innocent girl that just works at the White House. Okay? She's a key player. And forget the rumors about whether Trump and Natalie are fucking. Because it is important, but it's actually not really important. Trump has surrounded himself with someone whose defining characteristic appears to be absolute devotion to Donald Trump. She literally wrote, "You are all that matters to me." This is Helga Pataki with the Shrine of Arnold in her closet level of infatuation here. This is the girl from Obsession. That's a horrifying quality in somebody helping determine what the president of the United States sees every day. You don't want the North Star of the president's information gatekeeper being, what will bring him joy? What will make him love me? What will reignite the synergy that we once had when we would just chop it up on the beach and just take long walks together? If Trump's reality is being curated by someone whose devotion is so intense that she follows his golf cart, sprinting behind it, who rode in the fucking trunk to be close to him, and who writes him love letters every day. The story is not that Natalie Harp has the president's penis in her mouth, although I'm not sure he could even get it up anymore. It's that she has the president's ear in her mouth. Figuratively. Hopefully just figuratively and not literally. But also yikes figuratively. You see what I'm saying? You get it. Anyway, good luck. Oh, and by the way, I know it's early. It's August 23rd of 2026. I think Jon Ossoff is going to be your nominee. I think he's the guy. And remember this. Remember this. Remember I said this. Real quick before we go to everyone's favorite segment, just a quick America is fucked update. An America is fucked update. I don't know what we're going to call this. Let's just get into it. Donald Trump said this about the spiking bond market. Remember when I talked about bonds and yields going crazy and how it was a foreboding warning that the economy was fucked? And then, well, I was right and it is fucked. Here's Donald Trump on the bond market.
Did you direct Secretary Besson to intervene in the bond market?
No, not at all. No, he's a very capable man. He wanted to do it. He's very good at it. He has a good touch, very good natural touch for the bonds and interest, and he did that, yeah.
The yields have come back up since then. Have you talked to him about another type of intervention? Is that something he will be doing?
We have many types of intervention. That's one. The ultimate intervention is our military. And if we have to use that, we will, yeah.
We're going to bomb the bond traders? Who are we bombing? JP Morgan? Imagine explaining this to SEAL Team 6. Okay, your objection is to secure the yield curve. Saving Private Ryan, except you're trying to rescue a 10-year treasury note from JP Morgan Chase. Somewhere Pete Hegseth is slamming a fifth of Absolute trying to figure out what building in Manhattan has all the bonds in it. The bond market is about to become the bombed market. Right? That joke bombed. Huh? No? Okay. I should have yielded more caution before letting that one rip. Huh? No? Okay. All right. All right. That's fine. We should have killed those. But we're going to keep them in because I believe in transparency in my dad jokes. How many wars can we fight at once, guys? How many wars can we fight? All quiet on the western frontal lobe, you know, with this fucking administration. Can we bomb polymarket traders instead? The polymarket trade market? Can we bomb that next? And then speaking of trades and insider trading, Donald Trump just disclosed 1,000 security trades in June alone, worth around $260 million. And some of the timing is pretty lucky. You know, Trump is one of the luckiest stock traders in the history of stock trading. On June 18th, Trump's account bought $500,000 of Boeing stock. And later that day, the Navy awarded Boeing a multi-billion-dollar contract. I mean, that's just good trading, guys. And it's not just Boeing. His account's been trading companies that are deeply entangled with federal policy and contracts, including Palantir, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Oracle, Coinbase, and SpaceX, which he also purchased a large position of moments before A giant government contract was awarded. Nothing to see here, guys. Look, the economy is cooked. The president is siphoning billions of dollars from the stock market using insider trading in an army of traders. He's going to bomb the bond market, which is soaring, and gas also soaring, $7 a gallon in California. Farmers are fucked. We're eating contaminated beef from Argentina. All the food is poison, but hey, at least there's no trans athletes in the WNBA. Thank God, dude. Thank God. Thank you, President Trump. And now, let's go to everyone's favorite segment. It's time for the FOH HOF. It's time for the fuck out of here Hall of Fame.
Everything he touched go crazy. Crypto punkin' baby. LA to Vegas, catch him in your city, better hide your main bitch. Good luck, baby. Good luck, baby. Good luck, baby. Show about to start soon. Good luck, baby.
And we're back. Welcome back to the FOH HOF, the fuck out of here Hall of Fame. Let's get right into it, guys. This first inductee needs no introduction. Let's just roll the clip.
I think that unvaccinated sperm is going to be one of the most valuable.
That's 100% true, but you're right about that.
It's going to be one of the most valuable currencies 5-10 years down the road. Like, people are talking about Bitcoin now, even it's had a little rough patch, but in 5 to 10 years, women are going to be searching. They're like, I need to find an unvaccinated husband.
They're going to be, there's Jeremy awakened.
I'm going to be like, sorry, y'all, I'm taken. I got like 6 kids already. No, but I think that's one hot take. Unvaccinated sperm is going to be one of the most valuable currencies in the next decade. All right, mark my words.
I'd happen to agree with you because it's a healthier body. Like, who's not going to want unvaccinated?
I know, but it's still a little, controversial.
Or stupid, right? It's still a little controversial or, like fucking dumb, right? Guy's a jizvester. He's got a cum folio, this guy. Also, why is he dressed like this? Who does he think he is? Me? Take those fake-ass cardies off, buddy. Yeah, unvaccinated. Yeah, man, unvaccinated sperm, yeah. Because, whenever I have sex with a girl, she goes, you're not vaccinated, are you? Hey, just to be clear, before you put your penis in me, I just want to make sure, you don't have any little tiny vaccinated sperm swimmers in you, do you? Yeah, I just would hate to run the risk of contaminating myself, and God forbid we have a child. Yeah, and this is why I've been buying up as many vials of unvaccinated sperm as I can. I'm activating this part of my portfolio. I'm currently liquidating all my assets in my entire Pokemon portfolio to get as much liquid gold as possible. I'm rotating to the Sperm and P 500, the S&P, the Sperm and P 500. These are great investments because they aren't securities, they're commodities. That's good wordplay, right? This is a literal pump and dump scheme. Keep your Bitcoin on a cold storage wallet and your sperm in cold storage. This guy goes to the sperm bank to check his account balance. Imagine. Does he just like, how does he do it? Does he go to the sperm bank? Is he going to the sperm bank and acquiring other men's unvaccinated sperm? Is he going door to door? Is he asking his friends to masturbate into? Is he buying his friends unvaccinated semen? Is he masturbating into a tissue and then placing that tissue and taking it to the sperm bank? As a man who's vaccinated, obviously my bloodline is sold forever and a complete dead end, right? So as a guy who's vaccinated, whose life is basically worthless now, right? Who's basically just a contaminated, kind of just a walking scarlet letter, right? I'm kind of just a a corrupted file, right? I'm just kind of a virus. Just got just a virus inside of me, right? I've traded in the COVID virus for this genetic curse, right? I'm kind of like the antithetical eugenics case, right? A white man, but who's been soiled with Bill Gates, right? And so as I walk around and I'm looking for my wife, who will obviously be unvaccinated, I will simply inject her with my unvaxxed semen collection, what I've done is I've actually converted a fish tank into an unvaccinated sperm cell tank in my living room, and I filled it with jabless swimmers. And that way those little guys can practice swimming so they don't get 5th place like Riley Gaines, right? And so they can work those, they can get better and get better at swimming. And they're already super strong because they're unvaccinated and they're pure. But a guy like me, I can't do anything with my semen anymore. You know? And I think about my younger days. I wasted my entire retirement portfolio on a sock when I was in high school. Like selling your Pokemon collection when you were a kid. Every time you masturbated before you were vaccinated, you've just let generational wealth swim away. This is generational wealth. Literally. Think about that. Yeah? Okay. Next video. We're going to make fun of Jesse Waters, who is, I think, on a list. If I had to rank my top 10 least favorite people, Jesse Waters, I think, cracks the top 5. Here he is on Fox News being an absolute dickhead, as he does every day. Here we go.
Whether they're right or not, they're going to lose on the politics. How do Republicans message this, Jesse?
Rebrand it. And data centers is kind of nerdy. People don't like data. Call them like galaxy castles, right? Something like fresh. Right? Then everybody wants a galaxy castle around town, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right, man. Yeah. Yeah, data centers is too nerdy. Let's call them something super, a super not nerdy name like galaxy castles. Yeah. What about Death Stars? How about billionaire amusement parks? Galaxy castles. Galaxy castles sounds like where Epstein would take you on a field trip. Oh, you're worried about water consumption, electricity prices, and noise pollution? Don't worry. It's a galaxy castle. Don't worry. Actually, but have you heard the name? Galaxy Castle. That's not a landfill. That's the mountain of forgotten treasures. No. That's not an ICE detention center. It's a freedom sleepover center. Yeah. Your electricity bill might double, but look at how whimsical the name is. Galaxy Castle. Think about it in your mind palace as, your cost of living doubles and you lose your job. But don't worry, you can get a job at the Galaxy Castle as a court jester. This is the same marketing strategy they use to get children to eat vegetables. No, honey, that's not broccoli. Those are little tiny green trees. They're cute little tiny trees. Yeah, dude. Data centers are unpopular because they're giant windowless industrial buildings consuming enormous amounts of power and water and represent the fall of humanity to the big machine. But what if we made them sound like a Mario Kart track? Like a Mario Kart level. The thing is that galaxy castles don't even sound environmentally friendly. It sounds like something that Bowser owns. It sounds like it's in Bowser's investment real estate portfolio. Galaxy Castle sounds like a data center, kind of, but it sounds more like Elon Musk's custody arrangement. You know? Hey, Jesse Waters. Shut the fuck up, yeah? Let's take a look at Jesse Waters. Of course Jesse wants to call them galaxy castles. This is a 47-year-old man whose job is basically making current events into Blue's Clues for your divorced uncle. Jesse Waters is what happens when a country club becomes sentient. Jesse Waters looks like a guy who asks the bouncer, "Do you know who I am?" when he's not let into the club. And he is wearing Brooks Brothers, by the way. He looks like every villain in a movie whose dad is threatening to shut down the summer camp. He's the Nepo baby incarnate. He looks like he inherited his personality. Jimmy here looks like if Jimmy Neutron cheated through Ivy League and got 3 DUIs before 30. Jesse looks like Patrick Bateman if he worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And instead of killing people, he just says, wow, she's got a tight ass, to his coworker as some girl walks in to rent a car. That's Jesse Waters. Hey, Jesse Waters, shut the fuck up. We should call data centers Jesse Water Parks so everybody will fucking hate them because everybody hates Jesse Waters. All right, last video. You guys need some dating advice? Oh, fellas, you guys need some dating tips? Yeah, don't worry, man. I got it for you. Don't worry, I got just the thing you need here. Here's a dating coach giving you a foolproof method of picking up women. This dating coach gives you a foolproof method for picking up chicks at the bar and having one-night stands. Here we go. Let's hear it, buddy.
Getting a one-night stand at the bars is easy to do. And in the next 60 seconds, I'm going to explain how I pulled a bunch of 8s and 9s in the past 10 years using the machine gun approach method. The first part to this is when you walk into a crowded bar, your natural instinct is going to be to tense up a bit. And the first thing you want to do is to talk to the first person you see, ideally a girl. And this is basically like cannonballing into a cold pool. It's going to ease you into the environment. Now, once you've done that, you want to go for direct approaches. So basically, you're going to find a girl you find cute and say, hey, excuse me, you're beautiful. I had to meet you. How's your night going? And the main idea is that if you get rejected or if you think that's going nowhere, the interaction is going nowhere, then you want to bounce and move on to the next girl within 3 seconds. And that's the important part. You want to make sure that there's no more than 3 seconds before you approach the next girl. And if you go through 3 to 5 girls, you're basically going to enter a flow state. This is kind of hard to describe if you've never been in one, but basically you're going to be oozing charisma and you're going to have this magnetic personality that girls are going to look at you and be like, are you even real? Like, how are you so confident? And when you enter this state, it's really easy to pull a girl for a one-night stand. I mean, it's almost like it'll come natural to you.
Got it, man. So your strategy is mass shooting? You want to walk in the bar and Columbine the hose? Is that what your strat is? You're just gonna... We call this the spray and pray technique. We call this the J.R. Smith technique. The strategy is just full up desperation mode. We're just jacking up threes. We're just jacking up. We're Killian Hayes and we're shooting 3% from 3 and we're just jacking them up, right? Walk in and immediately start talking to somebody, ideally a girl. That was hilarious. He had me in the okay, the first tip is actually not a bad tip. Like, walk in the bar and just start talking to somebody, right? That's interesting. That's like, okay, cool. Yeah, you're cannonballing. You're breaking the ice with yourself. You're getting out of your head a little bit. Got it. But then the actual machine gun technique, just abandoning conversations every 3 seconds, just strikes out swinging on 3 pitches like Spencer Torkelson and then immediately turns to her friends like, how about you? 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 What a lady killer. Nothing gets the girls at the bar wet quite like a guy speed dating with himself. Yeah, let me tell you, I've pulled a bunch of 8 and 9s over the past 10 years. Yeah, the only 8s and 9s this guy has are in his Pokemon collection. This guy pulls 8s and 9s at PSA, not the bar. Only way you're pulling 8s and 9s by talking to every girl you see is if you're at a brothel. Look at this guy, dude. Look at this fucking chud stick. This guy, you know? The only one-night stand this guy's having is with his right hand. Or left hand, depending on if he's left-handed. flow state, you know? Yeah, you're just going to enter flow state. Yeah, you're just going to walk in. You walk in, you grab the four corners of the bar with your pocket, right? Grab the four corners of the bar, you put them in your pocket, and you start talking to every girl in that bar. And by the end of it, you're fucking, dude, your third eye opens and you're just pulling 8s and 9s and you're just taking them right into the bathroom. You're knocking them out, dude. You're in flow state. But before you know it, it's 12:30 a.m. and you fucked the whole bar. Man, where can I buy a course? Is there a link in this guy's bio? I gotta get in. I gotta get into this action. Thanks, Chud Stick Hitch. All right. Guys, that's going to do it for this week's episode. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the show, save it to your device, send it to a loved one or an arch nemesis, and then watch the show all over again on YouTube. You should be watching on YouTube. Isn't that right, Gengar? If you're watching on YouTube, tap that like button, smash the fuck out of that subscribe button, and then grease up that algorithm by writing me a love letter in the comment section, like Natalie Harp, okay? I expect every comment to be at least 500 characters. Feel free to use AI in the Galaxy Castle, in your local Galaxy Castle. Help power your local Galaxy Castle. Use AI to write me a love letter in Natalie Harp style, right, about my show this week. And I will be selecting one lucky good luck member, oil man, or oil woman, or oil they, them, in the comment section to come with me in the trunk of my motorcade as I play 18 in Scotland. And if I want to thank you, Beyonce. Beyonce, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to have this show. And until next week, and guys, I have some bad news. I don't know if I'm going to have a show next week. I'm going to Korea on Friday for a week. There is a chance I will try to find a way to record an episode before Korea, but there's a very strong chance that there will not be an episode next week, and I'm so sorry. But we'll see. No promises. Thank you guys again. Feel free to hit me on Instagram anytime, guys. Just shoot me a DM on there if you get lonely, if you miss me next week, or just really in general. I love you guys, man. Thank you guys so much. Until next week, as the world continues to crumble at our feet, and Natalie Harp is probably inducted into a psych ward, or either that, or begins her vice president campaign. I don't know, for next year with JD Vance. Good night and good luck.
Everybody listen close. There's a brand new show that you got.
Pikachu, what's the name of that brand new show they gotta know? With who? Right. That's me.
It's gonna get you moving, get you in the zone.
In the zone. We're in flow state, baby.
Good times with Gino by your side. You'll be feeling fine. Every week he's gonna bring the hype.
Woo!
So come on, let's go. Tune in online.
Let's play the drums, yeah? Tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why. I am a little